program is going to help me balancing chemical equations. I'm going to click on Introduction. The next step it says is click on Tools. I can use none if I want to challenge myself. If I need a little bit of help, I can use the scale icon or I can use the graph icon. And the instruction says to complete this in order, I'm going to separate water first. I'm going to click on Separate Water. There's your three options. And the left side, I have a molecule known as H2O. That means I have two hydrogen bonded to one oxygen. On the right side of the arrow, I have a molecule, an elemental molecule known as H2. And remember, that's what the plus sign means. A molecule of O2. Now, what I got to do is balance the chemical equation. It means I have to have the same amount of atoms of hydrogen on the left side as well as on the right side of the arrow, as well as oxygen. I have to have the same amount of oxygen on the left side of the arrow as well as on the right side of the arrow. So I'm going to start off with one H2O. And you'll notice on the left side that H has a 2, representing that there's two hydrogen. That's what 1H2O means, that there's two hydrogen bonded to. And then you see this other bigger sphere, which is oxygen. That oxygen is represented by this bigger sphere, and there's a total of 1. On the right side of the arrow, I have 0 hydrogen, 0 oxygen at the moment. So we're going to start doing our little dance of balancing chemical equation. I'm going to start off with hydrogen. I see 2 hydrogen on the left side of the arrow, 0 hydrogen on the right side of the arrow. So I'm going to have A, meaning one molecule of H2. When I do have that molecule of H2, I notice that 1, 2, there's 2 atoms of hydrogen. And again, here's my little graph that says, oh, look, there's 2 hydrogen on the right side of the arrow. And on the left side, oh, great, there's 2 hydrogen on the left side of the arrow. And you'll notice that ball and stick image that still stays the same. So I'm good to go with with hydrogen. But oxygen, I notice that I have one oxygen, and 0 oxygen on the right side. So I'm going to add a molecule of O2. By doing that, now I have 2 oxygen molecules on the right side of the arrow, represented up here. But on the left side of the arrow, I only have 1 oxygen molecule, represented by that 1. So I'm going to add another set of H2O. So to have a total of 2 sets, so you have that image 1 and that image 2. Remember, that's one set of H2O. Here's a second set of H2O. By having 2 sets of H2O, now I got to recount both my hydrogen and oxygen and try to balance that amount on both the left and right side of the arrow. So I'm going to count my hydrogen. I'm going to use this picture, 1, 2, 3, 4. And how I can confirm there's 4 hydrogen? Well, those 4 hydrogens on the top left, you see that H and there's 4. On the right side of the arrow, I see only 2 hydrogens, H2. I need more hydrogens on the right side of the arrow, so I'm going to add another molecule of H2. By doing so, I can now count 1, 2, 3, 4 total hydrogen on the right side of the arrow. That's why you have that 4. And on the left side of the arrow, I have 4. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. In terms of oxygen, you'll see 1, 2, 2 total oxygen on the left side of the arrow. And there's my count to confirm those oxygen. And then on the right side of the arrow, I'm going to count 1, 2. There's a 2 total oxygen on the right side of the arrow. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to balance these different equations. If I wanted to do the scale, it'll look like this. And if I wanted to do no assistance, it'll look like this. So your choice, how do you want to approach this? Eventually, you should be able to just use none tools because this would be acting like your whiteboard where either you're drawing the ball and stick or you're doing the structural formulas as we did in class. Thanks for, and refresh. So say you did this and you want to refresh. You want to try this again, but this time without any of the tools mentioned on the top right. You just simply click on the refresh icon, and there you go. Now you can start with no tools, and then it's going to automatically bring you back to ammonia, since by default that's the name, that's the beginning of this program. But again, I wanted you to start off with water, and again, you'll see it nice and clear because you've refreshed the entire program. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy balancing chemical equations.